Hello, welcome to Live with Jen and Gustavo. We're trying to wait for Jen to come online here. All right. Hi, Jen.
Hi, how are you?
All right. All right. Thank you so much for hopping on in. Beautiful day. Nice, hot summer day.
I know my dogs aren't liking it.
I know. Well, they shouldn't be outside anyways, so they'll thank you later.
No, they need to go to the bathroom.
I mean, this is true, but 2 minutes, 30 seconds is all they need.
In and out. I do get out of having to take them for a WALK.
Yeah.
So,
Cannot say
uh,
those words. You cannot say those words.
I know, right? It's so funny. Yes, all right, so let's get to it. This is now our monthly live because we're doing summer hours. And so welcome everybody. As always, you have myself, Jen Strelka, real estate agent, and lender Gustavo, and we are here to discuss hot topics. And so our topic tonight is questions you should be asking an agent and or lender when you are interviewing them to see if they're the right fit for you and if they can help you out. If you have any questions, any concerns, any stories, comments to share, definitely type them into the comment and we will answer them or address them live. So let's get to it. To kind of break it up to, go through real estate questions and lender questions, we picked like the top 5 that we kind of come across. And of course, in typical Jen and Gustavo fashion, we will trail off from some of these and share experiences. But so what we'll probably do to make it easier is go through the top like 5 with real estate and then the top 5 with lending. But again, if you guys have anything you want to share, throw it right in there and we will address it too. And this probably is something that it really is just a hot topic for me. With social media out there, so many agents, and I have seen this with lenders too, they're out there marketing themselves, and just the stuff that I see on there, I can see right through them. I know some people that are saying they're top producers and they might have closed one deal in 18 months. A lot of people don't realize this, but a lot of awards that are being advertised that they won, people pay to have those awards. We don't really, it's not a common practice that all of a sudden we wake up one day and we are given an award. No, we kind of paid for it. So just beware that there is a lot of smoke and mirrors behind the social media, which a lot of agents do use social media to market themselves. Rightfully so. I mean, that's what we all use. And there's a lot of great agents, a lot of great lenders out there. But this is why, like, the questions that we're going to go over, it's very important for you to ask these questions because it kind of really gets you, the consumer, to understand, okay, this is a true agent, a true lender. They know what they're doing. They are going to fight for me versus, oh, wow, I thought this one was so popular, so successful, and wow, they closed one deal in 18 months. So
Right.
it's very important to, one, do your due diligence. You can absolutely interview a handful of agents. Referrals are great from people who have used us or other agents or lenders before, you looking for them. So just, it's very important to not just go off of social media.
Right.
So,
And obviously, these are questions that you need to ask, right? So we can hopefully have consumers, I guess, meet their agent outside of social media. So these are the things that we want to make sure that they ask, correct?
correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because everything goes beyond social media, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's fine. I can show you my stats. I can show you how I'm going to market your house via social media, but it just goes beyond that. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, especially with the lender side. Once I get that accepted offer from my buyer, I'm handing it over to Gustavo and his team. And his team is really helping me get it to closing along with my agent partner, Nicole. Like, we work as a team, and that's off of social media. So you really do have to go beyond social media.
Right.
So, all right.
What's the first one?
Huh?
What's that first question?
Okay. So I kind of alluded to it a little bit. One of the main questions you want to ask is really, how many deals have you done? And I shouldn't even say how many deals have you done. It's, you kind of want to get an idea of, okay, I see that you have done, you advertise it, you've done 20 homes or 20, you worked with 20 buyers, but you didn't tell me how many years. Did you work with 20 buyers in a matter of 10 years, or did you work with 20 buyers in a matter of 1 year? That is a big difference. It's almost like difference between part-time agent and full-time agent. You want to make sure that the agent that you are picking, that they're very active in the field, not that they're getting to deal one deal like once a year. Agents need to stay on top of the trends, need to stay on top of what's going on in the market. They need to be boots on the ground. So when you are interviewing that agent, make sure when you ask them how many deals or how many homes have you helped, close with buyers in what amount of time, okay? And, there's a difference between units and volume. So that's why it's important to just know, how often are you closing these? How often are you in these situations fighting for your buyers? Another question, which is, you wouldn't think that this is a big one, but it truly is a big one, is how do you communicate with your buyer? So me personally, I like to meet with all my clients right away. And I meet them very first. My very first step with them is to meet with them either virtually or in person or phone call. And I want to set those expectations. So I will ask you, do you prefer text messaging? Do you prefer phone calls? Do you prefer email? Do you prefer all the above? It's crazy to me. There's a lot of things that are different nowadays, and it's really generational. I would say the majority of my clients, they're all text messaging or email. It's not a regular basis for me to be on the phone with them. And if I am on the phone with them, it's because we are negotiating an offer. So if you have a preference, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, please let your agent know that this is what I prefer. If you want that phone call and the agent you are interviewing say, absolutely not, I don't do phone calls, you got to say goodbye to them, because an agent is going to work with you and your preferences. So it kind of, you're setting those expectations. So it's very important that you have that discussion. Question number 3, which is important, is if you're not available, how will I get support? I'm very lucky to be on a team. So if I'm not available, I have backups. I have my showing partner, Alex, that helps me out. I have a backup to her backup. I have an agent partner. I have other agents on my team. Honestly, in our industry, there's no such thing as a vacation and not being available. I mean, we've been at funerals on our phones. There's really nothing that's off limits for us. But if that rare chance that Gustavo or myself that we're not available, it's really important that you know that you're still being supported. We didn't drop the ball on anything. If a house comes up, boom, we're right there for you. I will set up a showing for you. If you need that pre-approval, Gustavo will get it done. So that is a good question to know, is how are you going to be supported if that agent is not available at that time? Another question, which is really big in our current market, is what is your strategy for multiple offers? We have been dealing with multiple offer situations for the last 6 years. I don't really see an end in sight. I just saw the other day that our months of supply is 1.8 months. So for once, Gustavo screwed up.
Somebody was calling me and I had to end the thing. Sorry.
I'm just glad it was you. It's normally me and my IT issues over here. But I just saw that it was 1.8 months of supply. So what that means is that it is still very much a buyer's market. We will be dealing with multiple offer situation. So you, the buyer, you would like to know, how are we going to handle this? I have a whole list of ways to be competitive, and my strategy depends on, are we against 1 to 3 offers? Are we against over 5 offers? How long has it been on the market? Are you a cash deal? Are you a first-time buyer? There's so many things that go into multiple offer situations. And it's very important that you know that your agent has done this several times. They have experience in negotiating and winning at multiple offer situations, and that we will walk you through it and have your best interests at heart. And of course, we're not going to push you into waiving anything you don't want to waive, a price you don't want to pay. I'm here to guide you. And so you want to make sure that the agent that you select is fighting for you and is listening to you and is going to write up an offer that you are 100% comfortable with and you have no regrets on. It's not, oh, like there's so many agents out there that you really do know if they're not active agents, because unfortunately they do need this deal to go through. So they will tend to push their clients into doing things they don't want to do. And then it just ends up in a disaster. You do not want to select that person as your agent.
Right.
And then my last question is, why would I select you, agent, over anybody else? You don't want the common stuff like, oh, because I'm here to work hard for you. I communicate, I know houses. I love to walk through them with you. No, those are standard canned answers. Every agent should know all that stuff, right? You want to know someone that's going to dig deeper. Gustavo and I absolutely love unique situations. We love to be very creative with our offers to make them stand out. We have one offers being creative. We have one offers based off of our reputation. And so you want to pick somebody who knows the industry inside and out, that can actually explain the industry to you, that explain why a job report that comes out is important, how it relates to the interest rate and a 10-year yield. You want to explain how 1.8 months of inventory, what does that mean for you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? And you want to make sure that they're just not reading it to you, that they're actually explaining it to you. It is my job as a knowledge broker to explain real estate to you and the market, and to guide you to make sure you completely understand it. A lot of our job is education, aside from being a free therapist, but it is about education as well. So you want to make sure that your agent really knows what you're talking about. If you throw them a basic question and they're like, Chat GPT, how do you answer this? And then they read it to you straight from that may not be your agent.
Right.
So for me, those are the top 5 that stood out. Those are things that I come across on a regular basis. Again, just be aware that when you're on social media, there's a lot of fluff out there and you want to avoid it and kind of dig a little bit deeper and go beyond that fluff to really get to know if that's the right agent for you. Gustavo, thoughts on that? I kind of went through it quickly, but we like to keep these short and sweet.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I agree. A few comments on your answers. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like how many homes or whatever, you're right. You can easily spot an experienced agent with somebody who just hasn't done it before, right? Just that confidence level, you can totally tell. So 100% agree on that one. Communication. It's funny how you say that because it's so true. Nowadays, I mean, I remember the days back in the day. I don't want to age myself here, but like
we're both back in the day.
we would be meeting with clients literally in person. Like I would say 80% of my pre-approvals, if not 90%, were all in person. And now it's the opposite. I probably meet with 1 out of 20 buyers in person. And sometimes we don't meet until closing. So yes, communication is key. And more importantly, communication is obviously the way to ensure that the process goes smooth for everybody, especially for the buyers. We want them to experience everything as they should, and most likely, more should I say, in a way where they understand it, right? And then whatever is comfortable for them, right? And I mean, just like you said, we both have teams and we rely on our teams. We also have a life, but we also know the importance of getting the deal done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so clients always come first. We know that. But we want to make sure that they understand that. So, I mean, everything you mentioned is 100% accurate. So what are the questions for me now as a lender? That's what I'm kind of curious about. What are the
Well, I think some questions that I get asked that I refer to you for. I mean, and like I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this, a lot of these questions you ask an agent also 100% goes to a lender, because we basically are doing the same thing. We just specialize in 2 different facets of of real estate, right? But we both have, like, you both are having, people have the same expectations out of the both of us. So I have a lot of clients will ask me, what programs do you provide as a lender? I think there's a lot of first-time home buyers out there, and that is a good question to ask a lender, because if you do need assistance, you need to talk to your lender first, because sometimes you need to go through some classes ahead of time in order to get that down payment assistance, correct?
Yep. So yeah, so it really depends on the buyer. And so I guess with that being said, I'm kind of going to put it back and say, as a buyer, do you want to work with somebody who's going to give you one answer, take it or leave it? Or are you going to want to work with somebody like myself, for example, if I'm a broker, or that program, A, depends on the person, but also I could have multiple programs from multiple lenders that at the end of the day, it's a win-win for the client, right? And so that's where, you know, I know that you speak highly and speak well of me in the sense of, that your clients, not only are they going to be well taken care of, but that I'm going to shop and I'm going to find the best deal for them, which at the end of the day is what they want, right? That's why they're coming to us, and because they want to know we're the experts, but they want to know what are you going to give me that my bank or my credit union isn't going to be able to do for me, right? Outside of the fact that we're always working 24/7, the fact that we're accessible at any moment in time via our cell phones on nights, weekends, when it matters the most, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, yes, programs. There's so many programs, but the beauty is I can shop around, and that's one of the differences, as you know, that differentiates a broker from like a lender, for example.
And I honestly would say that is probably one of the biggest things I do get asked, because when I meet with a client and I ask them if they've already been pre-approved, and they'll say, yeah, I got pre-approved with Chase because all my stuff is there. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Let me explain to you what Gustavo can offer for you. So it goes back to my last question that I mentioning about a real estate agent. Why should I pick you over anybody else? And the way I package it up to my buyer and present it to them is, hey, he has many options for you because he's a broker, versus a bank or credit union where they just have one option and fees they have to use. So, I mean, that's a second question is, why should I pick you over anybody else? And right there, what you said is you're a broker. So that, it's very important that clients know that there is a difference, and you need to ask that to your lender. What's the difference between credit union, broker, working with a big box bank? Like, they all have differences, and you get lost in those big banks, right?
Right.
So I think another big question is, from a buyer, what do I need to bring to the table to get pre-approved? What are going to be my fees? What's going to be, how much cash I need to bring? You want to have a lender, obviously, that knows how to answer that correctly, to someone who, again, will go into ChatGPT and be like, AI, help me.
I mean, honestly, yeah. So knowing the knowledge, knowing how the numbers work is going to be very simply put. I know when I'm working with clients that they go online, and it's funny how the ones that are going right to chat, or for that matter any social media, and they're asking you those exact questions because clearly they've already put it. So obviously I'm not going to respond like a robot, and I'm going to tell them exactly. So knowing how the process works and knowing exactly where their question is coming from is going to help me. And obviously, as I'm going to be able to answer that question in a heartbeat. And more importantly, make it unique to them, make it specific to their scenario, because every scenario is different, every person is different. So that's definitely for sure. That's going to be an easy one to answer. And yes, every buyer is a unique buyer, and so the numbers are never going to be the same.
Yeah. And then just to add on to that, just to kind of wrap it up, because again, the first 5 questions really do apply to both of us. So you want to make sure that you are just interviewing and asking the right questions. But specifically with a lender, you do want to ask the question to the lender, okay, fine. I know what programs you have. I know why I should pick you over everybody else. I know what I should bring to the table. You really want to ask the question to lender, because I cannot believe how many people just don't ask this question or don't know about this. What do I do that will derail my pre-approval? I just had somebody the other day ask, we were talking about putting more cash down, And she goes, well, I can always take it off my credit card. And I said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So it's very important that when you're talking to a lender, you ask them, what can I do to like protect my pre-approval? Like, I need you to kind of guide me to make sure that I don't mess this up. You need to have a lender who's going to shoot it straight to you and literally tell you, don't do that.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. And that's where, again, you want to work with an experienced person who's been there, done that. And we have a no list. We literally have a no list. And we say, do not do this, do not do that, do not do this. Because, until, and buyers don't do it on purpose, right? They don't maliciously do it, but they don't see the harm in it, except for we know the harm, we know what it causes. So we always say, hey, that's why we always have a no list to ensure that yes, there's no um nothing's going to basically make the deal fall apart, because nobody wants that. The buyer doesn't want that. The seller doesn't want that. Obviously, we don't want that. So yeah, it's just a matter of more or less just being communicative and, more importantly, explain the process as thoroughly as possible. And at the end of the day, once they pick the right person, then the right results are going to happen, right?
Oh, what a great saying at that very end. Look at you, Gustavo, coming in for the win. So yeah, it's basically you want to make sure that you pick a lender that's going to give you the advice that you need to hear, not want to hear, but you need to hear it in order to make sure that he gets you from pre-approval to close. A lot can happen. Again, a lot of this is behind social media. So you want to make sure you pick a lender that is fighting for you and then make sure that he's giving you the right advice that will get you to close.
Right.
So all right, everyone, that is it for us on this lovely hot Wednesday. So I look for announcements as we enter August for the next one. It's probably going to be in the middle of the month again. And then if you want to find me on Instagram, I am Jennifer Strelka, WI Realtor. My phone number, 414-305-2519. And then Gustavo is through Cream City, so you can just go right into where you're watching this live and reach out to him through that. If you have any questions, you know where to find us.
Have a great rest of your summer and day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Have that margarita tonight. All right, bye.